SPLC ties Rittenhouse acquittal to systemic racism, claims it will embolden far-right extremists. The Southern Poverty Law Center claimed that a Wisconsin jury's decision to acquit Kyle Rittenhouse of murder charges highlights America's systemic racism and will embolden far-right extremists. The acquittal of Kyle Rittenhouse will add fuel to the fire of armed radicalization in America. Margaret Huang, the SPLC's president and CEO, said in a statement on the verdict Friday that a white male youth can travel across state lines armed with an assault rifle and engage in armed confrontation resulting in multiple deaths without facing criminal accountability is the all-too-familiar outcome in a country where systemic racism continues to rot the system. Far-right extremists have already published a deluge of propaganda lionizing Kyle Rittenhouse, and his acquittal is likely to further embolden them to pretend that his violent actions were somehow heroic. Huang added, "We will continue to see this sort of violence repeat itself in towns across the country unless we, as a nation, move toward greater prevention of radicalization, countering the anti-democratic hate that enabled the Kenosha violence, and end the systemic racism that supports it," the SPLC president concluded. Huang released her statement after a Kenosha, Wisconsin, jury declared Rittenhouse not guilty on 5 charges. The charges related to his fatal shooting of 2 white men and injuring of 1 other white man during the second night of civil unrest in Kenosha on Aug. 25, 2020. Rittenhouse's attorneys argued that the then 17-year-old was acting in self-defense after being attacked from behind when he shot Gage Grosskreutz, 27, as well as deceased Joseph Rosenbaum, 36, and Anthony Huber, 26 in the riots following the police shooting of a 29-year-old black man, Jacob Blake. Huang did not explain how the acquittal of a white man and the shooting of 3 other white men somehow reflected systemic racism. Todd McMurtry, the lawyer who represented former Covington Catholic High School student Nicholas Sandman, previously told Fox News that Rittenhouse could have a defamation case against President Biden over a tweet suggesting that Rittenhouse was a white supremacist. Critics say the SPLC brands mainstream conservative and Christian organizations hate groups, placing them on a list with truly hateful organizations like the Ku Klux Klan. Former staffers have claimed that the SPLC uses the hate group label to exaggerate hate in a fundraising scheme. The SPLC recently revamped its Teaching Tolerance program in America's schools, renaming it Learning for Justice. Critics say the program uses critical race theory, a framework that involves deconstructing aspects of society to discover systemic racism beneath the surface.